Hello, everybody. FAI here, or I here, and welcome to a to be successful in Dungeons Room. Now, of course, if you've been watching my quick tips video on TikTok, then you already probably know some of these tips. But I want to make a full-on YouTube video slash series in multiple parts on how to be successful, and just so that you can see the general process that I go through when it comes to playing Dungeons 4. Now, I will be making a video based around Dungeons 4 when that comes out, and some of these tips apply to Dungeons 2 if you're playing Dungeons 2. Some of them also kind of apply to Dungeons 1 or Dungeons the Dark Lord if you decided that you want to play the original few games. But let's face it, many of you probably are either playing Dungeons 3 or many of you are going to be playing Dungeons 4 coming out in November 9th of this year. So I wanted to just go through the step-by-step process and just help you generally become better at Dungeons. So in the beginning, you're going to be launching into what is your starting room here. And of course, as you're the ultimate evil, you or the villain, you're also going to have Talia at the start. But your first job is to, of course, look for a gold mine or gold vein, because the gold vein will allow you to mine up more gold and, of course, increase your production slash minion or slash overall count of, well, of course, people that you can hire, generally speaking. But as it would be, you never know where these gold veins are, and of course, it can be a bit of a surprise. In this case, we did manage to find the gold vein, as you can see right here, which means that we are going to basically start what is the process of a 5x5 room. Now, why do I go with a 5x5 room? Generally, the process of a 5x5 room is just to ensure that we have enough room to build around the base and generally have a way of entering slash controlling the situation, if you would. Now, of course, as you will see, I am going to also end up, as it would be, managing some of the base by basically also lowering the amount of, well, space that I'm in. But like I said, normally it's a 5x5 room you'll want to lay it on with. So you want to try to make sure that no matter what you do, you have kind of a 5x5 room to go with. And of course use in general. Now, like I said, it's going to be about 5x5 rooms, so hopefully you all don't mind, and of course you don't, you understand how that works. But as it would be, this is kind of going to be our room to start with. That you'll want to get a treasury room started just to have a place for your little snots, or these people here, these guys here that I'm going to grab onto to mine the gold and of course build up the gold. Of course, once you've done that, you'll start to probably want to look at the process of getting your army ready to go. Now, first thing is first, get the gobbler farm. Gobbler farm, or the gobblers, will allow you to basically feed your army. And of course, feeding your army is important, because if your army isn't fed, they're not going to work, and they're going to be very unhappy and refuse to help you when you need it. I mean, even villains have to feed their minions, no matter how you look at it. Once you've done that, the next move would be to, of course, earn one of the 3 factions that you can hire in the game. Now, when it comes down to it, let's face it, there are 3 different factions. You can use the Vortex, you can use the Horde, or you can use the Undead. Unfortunately, when it comes to the the demons. You unfortunately won't be able to get them immediately because unless you have a way of gaining mana, it could be extremely difficult to, well, hire the demons, and if they die for any reason, it could be extremely hard to revive them. But don't worry, with that having been said, you'll be able to start with the Horde. And I would definitely recommend the Horde because the Horde is one of the easiest, if not the easiest, to start with when it comes to generally building your army. After that, because you start off with 150 evilness, I would recommend you get the Naga. The Naga basically will allow you to heal your soldiers. And because they will allow you to heal your soldiers, you'll be able to keep your soldiers in battle longer. It only costs 100 evilness, so it should be easy enough to do. Now, once you've done that, I would recommend if you have time or if your little slots have been working hard to earn your money and get you money, I would recommend you start up by making a 5x5 grid, and of course, as it works, building the goblin farm. Now this will take a little while for your little spots to take on, so while your little spots are doing that, I would also recommend you boost Talia. In Dungeon 3, you earn Talia as a main protagonist slash hero that will always be on your side. I would recommend you level her up to level 2 immediately. This way, when the first large hero slash dungeon wave comes in, aka these people right here, you are able to protect yourself. Now, it looks like we have heroes coming in. This is not intentionally planned, in a sense, but I'm just joking. Of course, it's kind of intentionally planned. But I would definitely recommend you start hiring heroes as much as you can. I definitely would recommend you start with orcs and having a few more orcs than you would potentially goblins or naga. But you can always balance out by having, a good amount, equal naga and equal, of course, or equal orcs and equal, of course, goblins to help you out through the entirety. This first match spell slash first defense should be fairly easy for Talia to take care of herself, and your orcs are just there to, well, of course, gain the extra XP, and of course, eventually level up. As you'll see, orcs will level up depending on how fast or how much XP the enemies will look. Look up your little slots have, well, dug out the next area that you want them to dig out, aka the gobbler farm in this case. You'll probably want your orcs to start having a place to rest. Now, in order for your orcs to have a place to rest, they need to, well, be stitched in a sense with being able to settle down somewhere. So, of course, we're going to go ahead and build another 5x5 as usual. And start making a room for your orcs to settle down in. Now, while you're doing that, you should also make sure that you find the next gold vein, because eventually this gold vein will eventually run out. And when this gold vein does run out of gold, you'll have no more gold, of course, to survive off of. But with that having said, this is basically the start of the very first game, or very first part of the series to building your dungeon, and of course, making your dungeon a successful dungeon. In the next part, I will be starting to explain your plans to start visiting the overworld, or this overhead map. But in that case, of course, it'll be sometime before we do that, or it'll be in the next video that we'll probably be doing that. For now, we're going to certainly focus on just making sure that the beginning layout of our base is ready to go. Because when we start playing to visit the overworld, we'll have to exit from here. And of course, the main idea of exiting the overworld and visiting the overworld is to gather these little areas here to start gathering, as you would, evilness. And evilness is going to be the one main thing to help us continue moving forward. But that will all be in the next video. With that having said, of course, what do you all think of Dungeons? Are you looking forward to playing Dungeons 4? And how is Dungeons looking to you? Because, well, this is Dungeons free. Does Dungeons actually interest you? And I'll be looking forward to making and producing the next video as soon as we can. But don't worry, for many of you that won't be too long. The next part will be probably coming up very soon. But this is the very beginning of the process to making yourself a successful, if you would, dungeon master slash evil villain going forward. And until the next one, right? Don't forget to give this video a like, and don't forget to also subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you can see more Dungeons videos as they come out. And until the next one, everybody, this is FAI or I signing out and saying farewell, everyone.